Obama accused of treason with manufacturing a Russian hoax to try to discredit Trump. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let me see something real quick. Make sure I get this up. Where is this at? All right, here we go. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Let's deep dive into this whole Russia situation with Obama and Tulsi Gabbard having this conversation.
Tulsi, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. At President Trump's direction and with the support and coordination with the House Intelligence Committee Chairman Rick Crawford, today we've released a declassified Oversight Majority Staff report that was produced in September of 2020. The stunning revelations that we are releasing today should be of concern to every American. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. This has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic and American voters having faith that the votes cast will count. There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true.
Rebuilding 15,000 homes.
The declassified Oversight Majority Staff report that was produced
What?
in
We don't like
September
that.
of 2020.
Had to switch over to the premium account. Sorry about that, y'all.
The stunning revelations
that.
that we are releasing
like
today should be of concern to every American. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. This has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic and American voters having faith that the votes cast will count. There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed.
Tighten up AD. Why y'all tripping? I switched over to the premium account. Don't be that strict. All right. This is a live show. We figuring it out as we go.
The creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't. The report that we released today shows in great detail how they carried this out. They manufactured findings from shoddy sources. They suppressed evidence and credible intelligence that disproved their false claims. They disobeyed traditional tradecraft intelligence community standards and withheld the truth from the American people. In doing so, they conspired to subvert the will of the American people who elected Donald Trump in that election in November of 2016. They worked with their partners in the media to promote this lie, ultimately to undermine the legitimacy of President Trump and launching what would be a years-long coup against him and his administration. We're here today because the American people deserve the truth, they deserve accountability, and they deserve justice. The records that we released on Friday that were ODNI records, Senator Chuck Grassley's release on Monday of what is known as the Clinton Annex, which was an appendix to the Department of Justice Office of Inspector General's 2018 report, as well as the House Intelligence Committee's majority oversight report that we're releasing today, all come back to and confirm the same report. There was a gross politicization and manipulation of intelligence by the Obama administration intended to delegitimize President Trump even before he was inaugurated, ultimately usurping the will of the American people. I'm going to go over the key findings from the House Intelligence report, which investigated the claims that were made by an intelligence community assessment ordered by President Obama and published in January of 2017. First, Putin's principal interests relating to the 2016 election were to undermine faith in the U.S. democratic process, not show any preference of a certain candidate. In fact, This report shows Putin held back from leaking compromising material on Hillary Clinton prior to the election, instead planning to release it after the election to weaken what Moscow viewed as an inevitable Clinton presidency. In the January 2017 intelligence community assessment that President Obama ordered, John Brennan, who was CIA director at the time, and the intelligence community intentionally suppressed intelligence that showed Putin was saving the most damaging material that he had in his possession about Hillary Clinton until after her potential and likely victory.
We really did believe that Hillary Clinton. Ain't that crazy to think about nowadays? Is that we really believed that Hillary Clinton was going to be the president of the United States of America when we look back at it in hindsight? It's insane to think that we was about to actually elect Bill Clinton's wife, pantsuit Hillary, into office. It's crazy. And that they were working their hardest. They were working relentlessly. Oh, come on now. Stop it. Stop. Y'all taking a portion? All right, have fun, y'all. Stop, y'all. I'm not going to let y'all cap like that. Most of us was liberal. I was liberal. I was on the verge of becoming conservative. But I can admit when I'm wrong. I can admit when I was a part of the go along, get along gang, and I was starting to wake up, and, I was liberal Anton. I had a gap in my teeth. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Y'all gonna have to start being honest and saying, yep, you know what? I was off. I was voting along the same lines as the Democrats because I was programmed to think that you always vote Democrat no matter what. It's okay to be wrong. That's where the growth comes from. I like the fact that I used to be wrong and that I've changed and evolved because it means that we're open to the possibility of changing. It's nothing wrong with being wrong. Everybody acting like they never was going to vote along because Obama told you to. Yes, y'all was. Yes, y'all was. I was wrong. Other people was wrong. It's a lot of y'all. Maybe not everybody, but it's a lot of people that was wrong. If y'all, listen, 92% of y'all voted for Kamala Harris. I know for a fact you voted for Hillary Clinton. I know for a fact some of y'all voted for Hillary. Absolutely 100% I know for a fact that some of y'all did. Y'all not going to sit here and tell me that y'all was just always Team Trump. I wasn't. And the reason that I didn't vote, that I wasn't Team Trump in 2016 was because I didn't believe that Trump was actually serious about becoming president of the United States of America. And I said that. I thought that Trump was using it as a marketing opportunity to bring more visibility into his brand, that I didn't believe he was serious about being president of the United States of America. So I said that, and I stand on that today. I said that, and I stand on that today, but I was wrong. I was off, and I was wrong. And then I voted for Trump in 2020, and I voted for Trump this past election. But I don't like it when people act like they've been on this wave since they was born. I've always been Republican. No, some of y'all haven't. Some of y'all haven't. Some of y'all are wave riders. Some of these people is the same people that was Golden State bandwagoners. All of a sudden, you was always a Golden State fan. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. Some of y'all, I believe some of y'all was, but most of y'all, I don't believe y'all. Most of y'all, I don't believe y'all. I never liked Hillary, but I voted for her simply because I was a part of the Democrat plantation. So I just went with whatever the go along, get along gang was. Y'all gonna have to start being real, man. Come on, man. It's okay to be honest.
The report goes into great detail about the information that Russia and Putin had, on Hillary Clinton, which included possible criminal acts, secret meetings with multiple named U.S. religious organizations in which State Department officials offered, in exchange for supporting Secretary Clinton's campaign for the presidency, significant increases in financing from the State Department. They also had documents that showed the patronage of the State Department to State Department employees who would go and support Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers. Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious substandard sources.
Hillary is a dope fiend, y'all. Had access to them good drugs.
To create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference for Trump. Brennan and the IC misled lawmakers by referencing the debunked Steele dossier to assess quote-unquote Russia's plans and intentions, falsely suggesting that this dossier had intelligence value when he knew that it was discredited. The intelligence community excluded significant intelligence and ignored or selectively quoted reliable intelligence that contradicted the intelligence community assessment's key findings on Putin's alleged support for Trump. Including this intelligence reporting would have exposed the ICA's claim as implausible, if not ridiculous. The intelligence community assessment omitted reliably sourced information, such as how some Russian intelligence officials were quote-unquote planning for candidate Hillary Clinton's victory, while others assessed neither Trump nor Clinton would respect Russia's interests. As was reflected in the ODNI documents that we released on Friday, multiple intelligence community assessments released in the months leading up to the November 2016 election concluded that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to impact the outcome of the US election. On December 5th of 2016, the FBI and ODNI gave the House Intelligence Committee its first post-election classified briefing, in which there was no mention of Putin aspiring to elect Trump by either agency. The Presidential Daily Brief, drafted on December 8th of 2016, stated that no Russian or criminal actors impacted vote counts. This document was pulled just hours before it was to be published due to quote-unquote new guidance. If it had been published, it would have been briefed to both President Obama and President-elect Donald Trump. On December 9th, 2016, a National Security Council meeting was called to gather President Obama's senior national security officials, which included CIA Director Brennan, then Obama DNI James Clapper, Susan Rice, and others.
If Obama did collude with or collude against the Trump administration in order to try to undermine his position in becoming president of the United States of America by basically trying to manufacture a Russian hoax to say that, that the election in 2016 was influenced by Russia, then I think that he should face the same kind of scrutiny and consequences that came along with Trump, and how it is that Trump had to defend himself all while he was, rocking out in the Biden administration. That's what I believe. I believe that they were so fearful when they realized that he actually had motion. I believe that they were so fearful that when they realized that Trump, wait a minute, hold on, what's going on here? People actually rocking with this guy? Michelle, did you see the latest poll? Say Hillary is not necessarily projected to win. She don't have the slam dunk. So this is what we're gonna do, Michelle. Get the FBI director on the phone and have him call me, because I need to see what's going on with Russia. What do we got? What do we got on this guy? Who wants him to win? Russia? Okay. I believe that the Obama administration should face the same level of scrutiny. I don't believe any of these people are going to jail. Let's be very clear. But I believe that he should face the same level of scrutiny that the Trump administration faced when they were trying to take him down and preventing him from becoming president again. Is nowhere in the world that you'll ever convince me that Biden got 81 million votes. Never, ever. To the day I die, I will go down never believing that Biden got 81 million votes. It'll never happen in a million years. You'll never convince me. Ever. 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 You will never convince me that Biden got 81 million votes in 2020 in the middle of a got dog pandemic. Eric D, you'll never convince me. Not in a million years. Nope, I'm not going for it. I don't know how they did it. I don't know what was going on. I don't know who counted, but I'm never going to go with that narrative, and you'll never convince me. Never. Ever. I seen how hard they worked. I seen what, bro, you know why I consider Trump the greatest president of all time? The reason that I consider his legacy and he's the greatest person of all time is not just because he actually doing what the things is that he said that he was going to do, but because of the uphill battle that he's had to fight in order to do so. Bro, they tried to take him down in New York with Letitia James. They tried to take him down in Fulton County. I still remember when the fact, like, it's still a part of the White House records that the Atlanta mayor and Fonnie Willis and her boyfriend had an impromptu meeting, and they had a White House. There was no reason for them to be at the White House, meeting with the vice president who wound up becoming the candidate that ran for president of the United States of America, meeting with the vice president right before they started to file charges against him in Fulton County. Now, maybe they didn't do their due diligence, and maybe they just got sloppy and didn't realize that Fonnie Willis was busting it down for a real one with the Gorilla Grip P. But they tried to take him down in Fulton County. They tried to take him down in Florida. They tried to remove him from ballots, saying that he was a convicted felon. And so the way that he was able to overcome all odds and is still the man, he has to be at the very least the greatest president of our lifetime. At the very least, he's the greatest president of our lifetime. Now, considering all that they tried to do to him, I believe that they tried to assassinate him. I believe that they tried to take him out. I believe that they really, like, come on, man. Everything had to work in Trump's favor, and some divine intervention had to play a role in his life in order for him to still be here executing on the things that we know is the right thing in the United States of America today. And so if he can face that level of a scrutiny, I have no problem with Obama, who has been skating high and been chilling and riding the waves and making all of his money from Netflix and probably giving $1-2 million speeches. And now his wife is so bored that she's starting a podcast with her alien head shaped brother, Craig, who nobody cares about. You know, Craig is so whack. Let me tell you how whack Craig is on this platform, on YouTube. Craig is so whack. We knew Craigs in our day. We know who a Craig is. Craig is so whack that Craig got fatter since they started the podcast. You got to alley-oop. You've been riding your sister's wave. Craig is... Your sister married the president of the United States of America. The least you can do is get yourself together. You know you're going to have to eventually be on camera, or we all going to want to start a podcast. You know, because Michelle's going to start a podcast, and I'm going to be right there with her. Nigga, get it together. Get it together. Them knees. Craig walked just like, he got them Kenny Smith knees. Yeah, he thought that he wasn't gonna get no smoke because I'm just a quiet guy, and the manosphere is just, you know, the young guys, they look to the manosphere. They need to look to Obama. Them Kenny Smith legs. Yo, he wanted to be a content creator, so he gonna get it just like everybody else. Craig is whack, and he stutter a lot, and when is somebody gonna hold Craig accountable with them knees? I can't stand it. How tall is? Let me look at Craig Robinson. Craig Robinson. No, not that Craig Robinson. Craig Robinson, not the actor comedian. We don't want to talk about him. Craig, you gotta. That's how you know you a sucker. Is because when you got to put in somebody's name and put your sister name next to it in order for you to do it. Craig is 6'6". Just big. Just big for no reason. Had an uncle like him. He's just gonna ride your wife's wave the whole time. Got no information on him. Can't even deep dive in AI on Craig. He just there. Is this his girl? Is this Craig Robinson's girl? He divorced? Is this is his ex-wife? Well, one thing about me is I like to be consistent. So wives are off limits and children are off limits. So wives and children are off limits. I don't do that. I do cap on people in the chat because I don't be knowing who got a profile picture or not. Wives and children is off limits, so we don't get into that. We stand away from that. But Craig, he not off limits because he a content creator and he big for no reason. Just big for no reason. Let's get back to the show.
Following that secret meeting, DNI Clapper's assistant sent an email to the intelligence community with the subject line, POTUS tasking on Russia election meddling, tasking ODNI leaders to create a new assessment per the president's request. The House Intelligence Committee oversight report that we released today reveals that, quote, unlike routine intelligence community analysis, the intelligence community assessment was a high-profile product ordered by the president, President Obama. It directed senior intelligence community agency heads and created an intelligence community assessment limited to just 5 analysts using one principal drafter. This is not something that occurs in the normal path of producing an intelligence community assessment that reflects the views across the intelligence community. The production of this intelligence community assessment was subject to unusual directives directly from the president and senior political appointees, especially the former director of the CIA, John Brennan. The House Intelligence Committee oversight report.
We get it. So essentially, they're accusing the Obama administration of manufacturing a hoax. Y'all crazy. Of manufacturing a hoax that ultimately said that Russia was colluding. And so they're saying that it was false and that he actually committed treason.